All right, folks. I'm pretty excited about today. A lot of good stuff to go through around content curation, social media engagement, all of those things. I'm going to be highlighting the work that we're doing for and with Lisa at Mansfield Magazine. She took advantage of our publisher concierge service, and so this is chronicling a bit of our efforts there. It also does expand on the topic we covered on May 20th. Now, unfortunately, we didn't record that, so if you want a copy of the slide deck with all of the content sources and so forth, let us know. We'll probably re-record it on our own later, but it's not there now. So today we're going to go through and talk about how we manage a web presence. We're going to talk about some simple social media activities that can be sort of systematically done to grow engagement. We're going to talk about content topics that are engaging because they align with the community. And then we're going to give you a sense of some tech updates. We haven't pushed anything for a little while, but there's a lot that's coming. So we're going to dive in. Again, I'm going to cover a lot of ground here, post any questions as we go. So the first part, when you think about building your presence, is you want to start with research. And I know as a publisher, you know your community well, but there's a lot of sort of under the surface things you can uncover. So you want to look for things like local businesses and organizations. Again, you've got a great list, but these will you want this to be almost comprehensive, so that you've got a number of avenues to reach out for advertising, but also for content. And you sort of want to identify these groups as potential event producers, and I'm thinking in terms of your calendar, not as though they actually run major events, although that's possible, news producers, and other types of content. As you'll see, there's guides and whatnot that you want to be able to populate. And you also want to identify informal groups. I have young kids. My wife is part of a number of moms groups, play dates, etc. Meetups at meetup.com is a great place to go to find local organizations. Again, it's trying to find things and surface things for your community that may not be common knowledge. And then you need to engage, meaning you need to reach out to them. In some cases, you may get emails. You can populate newsletters. You can target the event producers and let them know through a multi-step email campaign that they can post in the calendar and so forth. But in some cases, you want to reach out directly, and I'll highlight some of what we've done there. And we're just getting started, but we've had a lot of success so far, so I wanted to highlight it quickly for you. Now, as you think of the sources of content, and again, the other deck that we went through covered this, you really want to have a broad scope. So whether it's local TV stations and newspapers, whether it's meetup.com, chambers, historical societies, HOAs, Parks and Rec is a great one. Don't exclude anyone, even if it's sort of light touch or that it's only events or whatever. You want to include them and have their content and their buy-in. And buy-in, then we'll talk about the simple social media activities. So the easiest way to do this quickly is to find the local groups and like them as a page. So you can see here on the little graphic, the DFW scanner. I'm looking at DFW scanner. And you'll see these three dots on the right-hand corner. If you click that, you have the option to like as a page. See, if you just hit the like button here, it would be me, Brian, liking this page. And, well, I'm sure it's fine. I don't care to do that. I do want to track it for Mansfield Magazine. So I like as a page. And then once I've liked as a page, there's a number of things that I can do. It's sort of little known, but you can use Facebook as a page. By the way, if you click on this option and use Facebook as one of your pages, and you go to a website like your own, you'll see that the like buttons and the other Facebook icons don't work. That's okay. It's not broken. It's apparently by design. It'll be back when you start using Facebook as you. You'll also notice when you're using Facebook as a page, instead of your image and name, it will be the page you're using it on. But then you can actually click on the Facebook icon, and it won't take you to your page's timeline, but it'll actually take you to your page's news feed. And the groups and the organizations that you like, all their posts will appear on that newsfeed. So you can quickly scroll through those to see what's going on. There's a few other benefits that you can do. You can then reference them. You have to have liked them, I believe, or at least you should. It makes it easier. And then you can reference them in a post. You'll see how we use that to engage more later. So be sure as you are posting to post questions, to use mentions, to combine them. This is also called a mention when you start typing and select someone. Use these because it starts to engage. You're going to get more reach on Facebook. Remember, Facebook is moving towards having your content reach 1 to 2% of your fan base. So the more you can do to engage and to signal community involvement, the better off you'll be. And be sure to schedule your posts. You can see there's this little clock icon. As you're working on posts, schedule them. You don't want to post at midnight. Not that many people are likely online that you want to reach at midnight. You don't want to back-to-back post. So if you've got 4 or 5 you're going to put out, no problem. Schedule them out. Give them 3 or 4 hours and schedule them out. And you'll see you can also share site content. So I'm going to continue, and I'm going to run through a series of posts that we did for Mansfield and show you what happened here. So Mansfield Magazine has about 1,800 fans, which is pretty good, and it's growing. I wanted to start by highlighting a big upcoming event in the community. They have this big 4th of July thing. What I didn't do here that I should have is I didn't use a mention. So that was a mistake on my part. But nevertheless, I did refer out to the calendar. You can see it was engaged, 21 people. That's a lot of people liking it. And we reached 1,100, almost 1,200 people. It's like 60% of their fan base. Totally destroys the limitations that Facebook is starting to employ. That's pretty great. And it drove traffic. And by the way, sharing your content does improve SEO. Now I continued, same day. I put a call out. Did you know you can post? So I'm mixing a little bit of promotional activities, but you'll notice in both cases, I've included something, a question, something I hope is thoughtful about what you can do here. It's not just sharing a link. It's actually sharing something meaningful. Now, I also replaced the standard image with this screenshot. I took the time to take a picture, and you can replace the images. You can change the titles. You can change the body. Sometimes you're going to want to make changes as you go. Again, nice engagement. Someone else did a mention because apparently Michael might have some events they want to post. We got this great unsolicited testimonial. I did this for an event in March, and the publicity made the event a success. Fantastic to have somebody say that. And our self-promoting reached over 1/3 of their fans, so that's great. We continue. There happened to be an airplane that landed near a highway. There's a YouTube video, so we just shared the video and a little plug. Again, good exposure. All of this, what it does is it expands your reach. You're going to get more likes so that the next time you post that self-promotion, you reach more people. You're showing Facebook that you're more engaging, etc. Now, I also embedded this video on the homepage for a few days just to give a little added exposure. If I wanted to take more time, I could have done an article pickup and sort of wrote about this. It was covered pretty extensively, and frankly, the biggest reason I didn't do this is it was a few days after the fact, and it was probably too late to the game. As you continue, again, another marketing piece. Less reach. I think the image was less compelling. I think Facebook's probably scanning and smart enough to know when things are marketing messages. Use words like subscribe and e-newsletter. But you know, we still reached 310 people. That's a good deal more than Facebook normally extends reach to. And this was our poorest performing post that we did. It was sharing a post from a local blogger. I think it was probably a combination of things, timing, you know, heading into the July 4th weekend. Perhaps my engagement message wasn't very good. The image, you know, it's stock photography. It's not a photo. I think Facebook's smart enough to see that as well. And when I say Facebook, I mean their algorithm. And so we reached only 150 people, but again, that's still like 8%. So better than nothing. And so it drove a little bit of traffic. So when you have a success, figure out why. When you don't have a success, figure out why. And Lisa's saying that soccer is boring, and it could be that, but you know, there was a lot of excitement around soccer this year. So you never know. Then we shared another post from one of the recent bloggers, a local farmer, and you know, really clever title. Chickens, the gateway livestock is pretty great. Pretty good reach, nice engagement. You know, if this was your average post reaching, you know, 25% of your audience, that's pretty good these days. Again, I try to write something that's engaging, and sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss, but this one wasn't so bad. By the way, that was a scheduled post. Then I came back around to that 4th of July event. In this case, I was letting people know that I want them to take pictures and to be mindful of the fact that that we're going to be collecting pictures for a scrapbook. Again, I don't know why, but I slipped my mind and I did not reference them with the mention. So, you're going to make mistakes. It happens. It was shared a little bit. It wasn't a huge success in terms of traffic, but it was a nice quick post. And then after the fact, we put together a post. In this case, I did remember to reference the city, which is what had that. And I referenced an article that I put together where we're starting to collect people's photos. And so this had a pretty decent reach, and we're going to promote this a few more times. We really want to put together a community photo album of local pictures. By the way, these two photos that you see, the montage on the left and the photo here, came from the city of Mansfield's site promoting the event. I credit them on the article. I didn't credit them here for that, but I don't think they minded since we were promoting an event for them. This is the article I wrote. You can see very simple, sort of not too formal title. I used the image. I did do the credit. I've got a brief blurb here and a call to action. And as of this morning, there were 17 likes to that and growing in a couple submissions. So some of these pictures that come in can be used in print too if we decide to do that. And so that's part of the incentive there. So don't dismiss the value of social content, using it in print, etc. And I'll go further. This morning I posted this really simple post. Hey, Historic Mansfield, what are your top 5 local venues for music? See, I know I want to write an article about local venues for music. In fact, I want to write 6 articles, maybe more. One that is a guide and another for each of the venues. But I didn't just leave it to chance that they were going to see this. So I messaged them on Facebook and I emailed them. I didn't message the city. I should have done that. And to really be comprehensive, you'd want to message them to make sure that they always reply, because when they reply here, that gives you more reach. It shows them, if they don't know that you do this, they're missing out, but they want to see, oh man, Mansfield Magazine really has a good perspective. They want to involve me, and I want to play ball with that. So make sure that you don't leave it to chance and that you email them, you message them, you call them. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but just say, hey, I just referenced you, and please comment. We'd love to have your thoughts on this. Oh, by the way, we're going to be writing this article, etc. And in a moment, I'll show you how you can get the link and embed. Actually, if you click on where it says 5 hours, if you click on that, it'll take you to the post page, and you can actually email that to somebody, and they can go straight to the post. So as we transition from that, I want to talk about curation. You'll see the embedded screenshot here. We've talked a lot about curating different things, creating guides, creating editor's choice for events, curating all sorts of things. As I was scrolling through some of the popular local pages on Facebook in Mansfield, I started to notice there were some things I really liked, and some things that maybe we had shared earlier through the page, but I wanted to put them all together. And so we're creating what we're calling Facebook faves. Periodically, maybe monthly, maybe every few weeks, we'll see. We'll go through that list of folks that we follow, and we'll write an article that highlights their Facebook posts, but do it on Mansfield Magazine. And so that's what you see here. At the very top, it's going to reload this. At the very top, I grabbed an image and I wrote a title and a quick intro, and then I just embedded some posts. You can embed multiple posts, and to do that, you just look at a given post on Facebook and you click this little arrow deal that appears when you hover there, and you've got this embed post option which pops up this thing. And so then you can take it and you can embed it. So this entire article was Facebook content from other people. So I posted it to Mansfield Magazine, then I shared it to Facebook back. And when I did this, I also referenced all of these organizations that are included, that I grabbed their posts from. Now, again, I should go further and I should email them and say, hey, just want to let you know we created this article, et cetera, et cetera. So this is really good exposure for them. It's really simple content for you. And I'm just reading Ryan's topic, Monday Mashup, which I do like. So there's a lot of ways for you to get content and get people engaged, and there's no reason why Lisa couldn't go out and sell a sponsorship of this. You know, a lot of this is sort of do good activities, highlighting nonprofits and so forth. People want to be involved with that. Now, as we've dug in, I've put together a tentative web editorial calendar. And this serves a few purposes. One is accountability. Now, I do put a get out of jail free card together. Don't get mad if we don't always follow it. But we want to have some accountability. We want to have some search engine attention to this. We want to be able to point people to it when we send them messages saying we want to write an article or we'd like you to provide us with an article. And so what I've quickly put together is that Monday we were going to do local living and lifestyle, sort of entertainment, could be dining, that sort of thing. Tuesday would be local nonprofit spotlight. Wednesday would be local meetup groups or community group spotlights. Thursday would be editors' picks for the weekend events, and Friday's local businesses or community member spotlight. There's a couple things that went into this. This is not highly scientific, but my thinking was, Monday people still have the weekend hangover, not from alcohol, but enjoying their time off. And so they may be thinking about local living, or they might want to share what they did. On Tuesday, it's sort of getting back into the work week. The local nonprofit, great way to grab some exposure. The meetup group, community spotlight, frankly, it's an easy article to write. So in the middle of the week when things get busy, not so bad. Plus, we've got an email that's set to go out every Wednesday to highlight the articles on the homepage. And this feels like a nice group to go out. Now, I was going to move the Editor's Picks weekend events up, but Thursday's a good time, and it gives people time to post their events for this, and we're probably going to create a separate email that goes out just for local events. And then Friday, Fridays are slow on the internet. So what better way to get a little pick-me-up in terms of our traffic and engagement than to brag about a local person or local business and get them to promote us for us, frankly. And so we cover the bases. Sometimes we'll cover advertisers, sometimes not. It's not going to be paid, but it's a great way to start a conversation for that matter. So this will probably evolve, but it's something that I'm excited about. And we've reached out to some meetup groups. We've reached out to some of the organizations. We have a list of about 500 that we put together, about halfway to our total that will be on our outreach. But here's a couple emails I've gotten back from people. This is a meetup group. We'd be honored to have you write a web article about our group. We just expanded the group, so there might be a ton of pictures. Would love to chat. By the way, when I reach out to these folks, especially the meetups, and these are sort of leadership people, whether it's a group of board game meetups or whatever, I'm also extending an invitation for them to blog for us. I don't think they all will, but I'm extending it. Here's another one from the Nature Park. I'm absolutely interested in helping out with a web article and photo gallery. By the way, I have a standard sort of 2-paragraph introduction. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm a web editor for Mansfield Magazine. I'm looking to write an article, or is something you're interested in, etc. And then third, this was the Historic Mansfield. Happy to help you put together an article, basically expanding on the Facebook post. So people want to help. They get exposure when you do this, and you get content. So the key is let's help them build buzz, build traffic, build engagement. And you know what? If the article isn't a home run, no big deal. These things can be written very quickly. If it's a great article, run it in print. So you can use them back and forth. You can also take the things that people are sharing in print, sharing on social media. So the comment that he wrote on social media about, how can I choose my top 5 is like picking your favorite child. You could take that and you can drop it in your print product if you'd like to add, as heard on Facebook and so forth. So lots of extensions that can go into this. So a couple of things to remember: share your content to social, not all of it, but the stuff that has a particular engagement vibe. Use email newsletters, grow your email newsletter. It's hugely impactful, even more than social, frankly, in terms of driving traffic, but they work together. And ask people to subscribe. Sometimes via email, post it on the site. We're working on some things that will show up on articles that will allow you, especially with MailChimp, to get people to opt in on every article. Try to align with your community interest, promote them, highlight them. I mean, do it when there's really substance there. We're not going to spotlight a business owner who's not very interesting, but seek it out. There's usually interesting backstories there. Connect to print if you have a print product, and definitely recycle and repurpose guides. Use the insert feature. Use editors' weekly picks, etc. Don't make more work than it has to be. That Facebook article did not take very long. The longest thing was just quickly scrolling to find a few funny, interesting ones, and then embedding took no time at all. So this can go very quickly. The amount of time that you invest is probably going to be more on engagement than on actually posting content, but it'll bear fruit. And again, as you engage, use it as a sales pipeline. Well, would you be interested in learning more about promoting your business? It's not a sales call, but I don't want to take that away from you. I want to make it known. And you can generate revenue in the process. So we covered a lot about what you can and should do. Lisa's still posting some content. She's still posting to Facebook and obviously handling most of the sales, but we are coordinating and we're ironing that out. And then as she goes to print, we're getting that process in place to make sure the print content is properly promoted and extended to the web and worked into the promotion of the web-only content. Now, I'm going to switch and talk about the tech updates. If there's any questions on this, post them and I'll come right back to them in a moment. With our tech updates, we've been going through a major upgrade cycle, and what we've been focusing on is making the application, our software, faster, more stable and secure, squashing bugs as we go, really revisiting every piece of the application to enhance it and to clean out, because when you start working on code, you build up some baggage along the way. It's also going to have a lot of mobile improvements. We are rolling this out in phases, and so later this week you'll see the first deploy. It will have a lot in it, things like upgraded sidebar, how you manage that. You're going to see an upgraded home page, the first piece of the front end that's being redesigned, and then it's going to roll out. And redesign is not the right word, but sort of rebuilt in the code, and you'll see some subtle enhancements to the actual design. You're going to see improvements to writing articles. There's a couple little bugs in the article publishing interface that are getting squashed, but also a lot of enhancements there. And then this will just continue throughout the site. So it'll cover articles and pages, then it'll go to the gallery and directory, etc. We're also nearly done with our geography-based calendar and directory. And what this means is every event and every directory listing in the Locable database will be available in all of your sites. So people traveling from Mansfield to California, they could do a search for where they're going, and they could actually find listings. We'll be adding some future ability for you to hide specific listings and to feature others and so forth, but there's some really great things happening there. And this will allow us to, one, get you the upgrades out as they're available, but it also allows us to get feedback from you, from readers, and make quick changes as we're sort of going, rather than waiting for some big monolithic upgrade that would have far too many ramifications in a couple of months. So anyways, be looking forward to that. Give us feedback. Know that as we roll this out, there should be lots of improvements, and if you happen to see anything that doesn't look quite right or works funny, just let us know. With that, we've covered everything that we wanted to cover on this session. What can we answer for you? It can be related to the topics we talked about today. It can be talked about revenue. Happy to open up the floor for any questions you may have.